Comrades, we are forgetting about the waterfall! I forgot what that was. Please reiterate. The explanation was reiterated, and they went to Paco's Inn to spend the night, for it took them the rest of the evening to translate the incredibly compact word. So when is our flight to England? Asked Duck. We do not go to England, comrade. The country is England, but England with an E is one of these bloody armies, corrected Dmitri Pachinko, son of Sam Pachinko. Well, that was interesting. We have some background on Dmitri, his apparently less Russian father, and one of these bloody armies, all for little or no purpose. But we depart on the morrow. I suggest you make the sleeps with your brain, and we will go to HSWW, yeah. And of course, drink vodka. Now, something you must know about Dmitri Vladimir Peter Victor Cosmo Pachinko, son of Sam McAppleduff Pachinko, is that his utters lactated frozen yogurt WMDs. Also, my elders lactate frozen yogurt WMDs, comrades. That should prove useful. Dmitri Vladimir Peter Vladislav Victor Ramikov Cosmo Georgier Pachinko, son of Sam McAppleduff Dunsname Burnham Pachinko said. And my nuclear missile urination should prove useful, Billy said sardonically. I was not aware you had that powder. Why did you not tell me this sooner? It could have helped, replied Dmitri, taking it seriously. That was sardonic, D-bag. What is sardonic? We have not the humors in forming a Soviet Union. That means I was kidding, and I do not believe you. Don't believe me? Former Soviet Union tells you not to lie! Well, I want proof. No. Chapter 29. Billy's Proof. Inside his mind, Billy was trapped inside a giant hamster wheel, but he was planning to escape. Would you like to know his plan? He would spin the wheel backwards so it would fall off, then he would roll over the guards and escape down the hall and attempt to reach the door. Then Billy woke up. The room around him was dark, and his paladins were still resting, Duck quacking in his sleep. Billy had no idea when he had fallen asleep. He looked at the sundial on his wrist, but remembered it was dark and wouldn't help. So instead he decided to look at his digital watch. It was 2:30, but it had been 2:30 since the pancakes. The apocalypse had messed with the flux capacitor in his pants. Oh, that's crossed out. Watch. He sighed. He then realized that he had never had to go to the bathroom so badly in his entire life. Billy got up and carefully navigated a canoe down the river to the porta-potty, which promptly exploded. He then woke up in the hall to the bathroom. He promptly urinated. Fortunately, he was wearing his swimming suit and it absorbed the excess. Billy was promptly embarrassed. Then he walked into his room and swimming suit full to the brim with urine and roused his compadres. Why one would do this, I haven't the foggiest idea, but he did do it. And soon they were journeying to England by way of Boston. They were doing so promptly. On the first day, nothing of importance occurred except for the accidental bombing of Pearl Harbor during a wrong turn. The second gig came promptly. On that day, they passed through the urban center of Howard County State Fairgrounds. Promptly. They promptly saw the prompt man behind the counter promptly organizing prompts. Do you have prompt for me? He asked promptly. Billy ripped the word promptly out of his pocket dictionary. Bendy burned the word with mage's fire. The counterman had no longer a purpose in life, so he pulled out a gun, placed it to his temple, and fired. Unfortunately, it was a toy. The man went fetal in the corner, whispering something about Luton and beer clouds and inflatable cacti. Luckily, this gave our lovable lads a chance to lash their hands onto lean liner. Dmitri was still trying to convince Billy of WMD lactation. I am telling you, comrade, it is possible. But you are a man-cow. The fact that you lactate at all is impossible. But I am a communist! So what if you're a commie? Communism! They're making no sense. Well, that's a non sequitur. I've got to turn the page. Neither does communism, which is why I can do the things that I do. Billy, interjected Bendy, did anything else in this story make sense either? But that's different. It was retarded. Bendy smacked Billy because his mother was retarded once. They're after my brains. Engage red alert at Howard County State Fairgrounds, screamed Counter Guy. He then died, just like the priest, and then came back to life, just like the priest, but then died forever, just like Teddy's hair. Meanwhile, in Hades, the priest had come across a new friend. You may wonder why the priest was in Hades. Everyone goes to Hades when they die. The priest was also Catholic. That has nothing to do with it. Anywho, back to Code Red. Billy and company now had only minutes before the rent-a-cop came and asked them to leave. But we must go to HSWADW, whatever, in England. We're not going to England, we're going to England with no E. Get it? Whatever, y'all get the point. They escaped just in time and made their way to the Peach Port. They jacked the presidential peach, Air Fruit 1, and began their fruity transatlantic fight. Their pilot, James Strawberry Shortcake, was sitting in the front. Good morning, folks. Where are we going? Across the Atlantic, my good man with a feminine name. Just then there was a stirring behind them, deep within the peach. An ancient evil was stirring, even older than V. Just kidding, it was a harmless peach vagabond. Hi, guys, said Alex. Alex said, Alex! You're a peach vagabond? I guess, dude. I'm not sure how I got here, so I just thought, whatever. Spot on translation, Teddy. Why, thank you. You forgot to yell at me for XXXXXXXXXing. Nah, I'm just ignoring you, Alex told him while dissolving into peach juice. I was not aware that people could dissolve into peach juice, remarked Dimitri. And this is coming from communists, countered Billy. You should read her homework. 9. Friends, children, dogs, run. 10. In fields, country house are many. 11. Dogs barking, boys to be afraid. 12. Under the tree branch, trees sleep, country house. Reread actual sentences to laugh more. Author's note, this is an actual student's attempt to translate Latin. Good point, comrade. Communists should be more open-minded, Dimitri replied. Bendy reminded them that Alex was an Alex from the planet Alex of the tribe Alex born on a backwards meteor. Of course, I had forgotten the species. By the way, how are you, James? Fine, said James Strawberry Shortcake. In fact, you could say I'm just peachy. Lol, said the peach. Nobody else thought it was even remotely funny. In fact, Billy threw up all over the peach, and then it fell in the Atlantic Ocean. Good thing giant peaches float in water. Unfortunately, it was no longer watertight because Duck had been eating it. We've got a code orange. Peach down. Coordinates are 2329 in sector 5 alpha. Repeat. Code orange in sector 329, yelled Strawberry Shortcake. Everyone onto Dimitri, shouted Billy, even as he grabbed onto his leg. Sadly, I cannot do that. A good fruit always goes down with his vessel, said JSS. Sucks for you. Bye, said Bendy as they took off. They turned to see JSS saluting as he was engulfed by the inner peach. Let us here have a moment of extra quietness to allow for the departure of such a fine fruits, Dimitri instructed. Oh, we forgot Alex. We must go back for him. No, wait, I put him in my canteen, said Bendy. Don't drink him. Bendy lowered the canteen and quickly wiped away his orange mustache from drinking out of the canteen. You drank Alex! Oh my God! Not all of him, Bendy said weakly. Well, you'd better finish. But wouldn't that kill him without giving us a chance to revive him? No. They will share bodies, plus I hate looking at an unfinished glass. Well, I smell a quest to find more peach juice at HSWADFT whatever and learn a spell to re-Alex Alex. Don't alert the readers, said Bendy, finishing the juice. I suppose you can protect Alex until we can learn the spell. He will reside in your tummy and influence you greatly, but there is only one way to get our Alex out, said Bendy, trailing off. Zombies! Mountain Dew! Something about male genitals! Just then, Walt Disney's brain appeared in front of them as they were flying. They were over La Cuba. This is a toll road, it said. I would try our Toll House cookies. Bollocks, said Billy, shedding his pastry treats. The brain faded away into nothingness. An hour later, they were over the Bermuda Quadrangle. They began to fade into nothing, and only the power and the mind of Bendy, enhanced with the power of Alex, kept them in the realm of visible. You're having a fade into nothing day, said Dimitri to Duck. Aye, seems so, said Bendy. So where are we, according to the poorly drawn map the authors created for us? We are avoiding Ryla and heading to the South Sandwich Islands, said Dimitri. And what treasures await for us there? The best sandwiches in the world, lads! If only we can just survive the cannibals. Did you say cannibals? Said the either very scared or newly speech-impedimented Duck. Fear not, Duck, for you and Dimitri are safe from cannibals, for they only eat human flesh. But they eat steak, so they eat cows, said Dimitri. Why would they eat steak? They are in a human famine. People don't go to the islands. Then they would eat a succulent, juicy duck? Probably. Oh dear. They were now nearing the archipelago, going past Random Doodle Island. Are we stopping there? No, comrade, for the thought of sandwiches overwhelms my tiny communist mind, Dimitri explained. Yeah, I want sandwiches too, said Billy. They continued in silence to the islands, Billy holding on to Dimitri's leg in the air and Dick and Bendy riding Dimitri. They approached the South Sandwich Islands, finding inhospitable conditions. It was very hot and the mosquitoes were made out of tennis balls. I left my racket at home, said Bendy. Don't worry, comrades, for when I make the poos, tennis rackets come out. He proceeded to demonstrate. How is that even possible? Shouted a revolted Billy. Once again, I am a communist, said Dmitri. Oh, right, I keep forgetting. You hide your disability well. Disability? I'll disabilitize you! Disabilitize isn't a word. I am a communist. I say it's a word. Stop it, you two, or I'll... And just then the Mosquito King attacked, made out of a yoga ball. Duck was killed when it clobbered him in the head, stabbing his neck. Billy, in his rage, stabbed the King Mosquito in the ball 357 times, popping it. Bendy, thinking quickly, paid his Soul-Sop Yu-Gi-Oh card and yelled, Platypus! Duck's limp, lifeless body was filled with light and was reanimated as Platy. The swordfish was stuck in his chest, like a holster, yet it no longer did any harm. Hello, mates, he said. About time I showed up. Darn it, said Billy. Pardon me? Oh, hey, Platy, 'twasn't you. I dropped my ice cream cone. It was all melted anyway. It's sweltering here, hotter than Hades. So glad to be alive again, mates. Where's Beardy? He's evil, you know. He's in England, in command of the bloody army of England. You let him get an A? It's Dimitri's fault. He blocked us. Oh, I thought his name was Alexander. I go by many names. Marcus to the Ronins, Giovanni to the Cubans, and Alexander to the British. Are you some sort of recon agent for the former USSR? Yes, comrade. Oh, I wasn't aware. They grabbed onto Dimitri and sailed to the next island, one with a science fair volcano on it. There they encountered Frank. Frank was an enormous giant with rippling muscles on his arms. Why, hello, gents. My name is Frank, said Frank frankly. Platy, you speak to him. I'm scared, said Billy. Quite frankly, I am very gentle. Frankenfurter? Offered Frank, producing a tray of hot dogs. Do you have any oranges? Asked Platy. Oranges? Said Frank, blood pressure swelling. Yes, with their sweet juices, their delicious rind, the wonderful pulp. Mm-hmm, said Dimitri. But then communist Russia, oranges juice you. Grrrr! Boom! Frank's head exploded. No! Frank, my friend of many a millisecond. I remember the first time I saw you as if it were 5 minutes ago. Oh, the horror! The terror! Lithe was his hair, dark was his skin. He lived without a care on this lowly island. Frank, oh Frank, why was thy time so soon? Dark, oh dank, is the future in this room? Well, we're not in a room, we're outside, but you get the idea, said the anguished Dimitri, who temporarily had lost his accent. Well, he wasn't a commie. Commies love oranges. So he's dead, huh? Yes, said Billy through tearful eyes. He shall be Frank no more. Commence funeral montage. They walked along the beach and lay him down and built a funeral pyre. Frank's island was Frank's no more. After the procession was over and their grief receded, they moved on. On to Dimitri they grabbed, and into the next island they flew. The worst island. The island of Ham. Intermission sequence. Lack of idea sequence. They passed this fight in silence in honor of the life and death of Frank. They arrived at the pig-shaped island. Dismounting Dimitri, they observed the lush greenery, fresh strawberries and various other fruity edibles. It was then that they encountered the goriest scene imaginable. A meat-packing plant, but it had been closed down for at least a week, and there was no longer any meat. How was that glory? Asked Platy. You don't understand. We're meatitarians. This is horrible. And indeed it was. The plant had been replaced there during the great age of meat. They entered the rundown establishment. There they found a scene even more disturbing than the first. A picture of Hillary Clinton. Stop there.